cosmos. Countless worlds upon worlds, worlds without end. In these galaxies, every possible reality exists. And what is reality on any one world is mere fantasy on all others. Here, all is real and all is illusion. What is, what was, and what will be start here with the words, "In the beginning there was Howard the Duck."
Oh, George, where do I start? I can't. You're like a can of worms in Pandora's box. There's no good entry point for discussion. You're too big. Just saying your name out loud instantly and dramatically divides people. You are simultaneously the biggest sellout in the film industry, and so proudly outside that system that you named one of your most enduring heroes Indy. You've been successfully mining a single property for more than 30 years to diminishing creative but ever-increasing financial return. And who can blame you? It's like the biggest thing in the history of ever. And even as your most loyal fans declare you the Antichrist, they're emptying their wallets. And, well, let's admit it, when you try to do anything else, you tend to fuck it up. You watch Howard the Duck in total disbelief because you can't help but think of the number of people who would have had to watch this monstrosity unfold during production and not say anything. It's a classic case of a big-budget bomb and a perverse love story to boot. I'm not even talking about this one, though I will. I'm talking about this one. Let that settle in. Or this. Alright, palate cleanser. Without Howard, this wouldn't exist. Howard had the distinction of being the first Marvel character to ever get a big screen adaptation. I wonder if rights acquisition precluded this. Andy was supposed to lay a substantial nest egg. He had to. Lucas was deep in debt from having just bought Skywalker Ranch. Probably because of the name. And this was supposed to pull him out. It's like he was a princess at the mercy of an evil galactic empire, and instead of going to a mystic space knight for help, he went to Howard the fucking Duck. He staked so much on the little waterfowl that couldn't that it nearly bankrupted him. So he wound up having to sell off his fledgling computer animation company to Steve Jobs. See? Everyone say thank you, Howard. Well, maybe it's unfair to put the bullseye on Lucas for this. I'm still gonna, though. I mean, he didn't direct, and there was another big producer. The three of them had gone to film school together and worked on American Graffiti. Alright, I guess you don't fuck everything up. But reading between the lines, Lucas insisted on live action where the other two wanted an animated movie, and he pushed for an ILM effects showcase supplanting plot. More than anything, there was that threat of bankruptcy. You gotta believe that lit a fire under him to keep as much control as possible. It's hard to overstate how much coal was shoveled into this train wreck. The patently fake duck suit alone cost $2 million and was manned by 8 actors in various stages of production, not counting the faulty prototypes ILM was cranking out, which were prone to exploding divine intervention style. And a third-act chase scene required Tim Robbins and a little person in a restrictive, possibly explosive duck suit to fly an ultralight aircraft. Piles of money, life and limb danger, for fucking Howard the Duck. But that's the point. That's the lesson that Howard teaches us. A lesson that maybe requires a little more in-depth look at just how unlikely it was that the movie could ever be a hit. As you take a gander, that pun will be comparatively priceless in a minute, just wait, at Howard the Duck, keep your peripheral vision behind the camera, where an army of technicians and artists, headed by an idealistic George Lucas, worked tirelessly to give this thing wings. Howard opens on an otherworldly glow of twin moons because Lucas's contract stipulated a Star Wars reference at 30 seconds, and an Indiana Jones reference within 2 minutes as the camera ominously lingers over bad puns in grim darkness like victims of a horror movie slaughter. Breeders of the Lost Stork. The drunkenest frat boy currently drinking does better with a game of porn parody title. How much do you think that poster cost to produce? Howard's entrance is similarly macabre, a frightful profile written shadow, betraying a self-awareness that goes out the window as soon as he's in full frame as just an average cigar-smoking, beer-swilling monstrosity pervert. Duck tits! Alright, who had 3 minutes and 48 seconds? Slap dab on the director credit too. No shame, man. No shame. A seismic upset catapults Howard, chair and all, through his building and past duck tits! Alright, who had 29 seconds? Out through the window and past a gorgeous matte painting that smells like burning money. Shot through the cosmos while a booming voice orders us to believe that this is all serious business, Howard flies past his own Titanic title card before dropping straight to Earth. Apparently he's invincible. Howard's reception on Earth is a little less than inspiring.
I'm a dead duck.
You're a sitting duck.
Hey, Bender! Go on in, Frankenweenie! We finally found you a date!
Ladies and gentlemen, first contact. Sneaking Howard into the club proves difficult due to a sharp-as-a-tack bouncer.
That costume don't fool me!
Yeah, crap, he caught you. But, best case scenario, he would have thought that, Beverly, the singer from the club band, is accosted on her usual route home via Rape Alley, prompting Howard to play the hero.
That's it. No more Mr. Nice Duck.
Is that a pun? Does that count?
No one laughs at a master of quack foo.
That one, unfortunately, is canonical. Although, wait, does that mean it's a play on Shaq Fu? Okay, Beverly is now face-to-face with an anthropomorphic duck. Elapsed time from cosmic incredulity to complete acceptance? 20 seconds. How complete? Well, with the prospect of Howard spending the night in the rain, Beverly invites him to live with her. 20 years early for bird flu paranoia, but what about space rabies?
Space rabies.
That's right, space rabies. After admonishing everything about her living conditions, Howard monologues us through an unnecessary backstory before curling up at the window and getting tucked in by a tender and still utterly credulous Beverly, who also does a little snooping. Yeah, see, even she thinks they're lame. The next day, Beverly hauls Howard out to see her friend Phil, a lab assistant at the local museum, and God bless Tim Robbins, he tries his best, even when they load him down with this kind of material.
Me, Phil, you, Howard, we be friends.
Ugh.
Which eventually just descends into sketch comedy.
Can you burn a hole through this with some kind of eye laser?
Can I bite your nose off with my super bill?
Howard, quit holding out. I want you to concentrate and read my mind.
Right. You're thinking, they know I'm a phony. They know I'm a yo-yo. Tell me if I'm warm on any of these, Phil.
I want you to look into the future and tell me what you see.
I see myself walking out that door.
Yeah, me too.
Howard, in full view of the public, has a little mini freak-out at all the people who are trying to help him. If there's a shred of empathy left after his creepy costume, his self-centered bitch fest buries it for good.
Well, who needs you? I don't need anybody.
Fuck you, Howard the Duck. Astute viewers might well be wondering where the fuck this plot is going. Those viewers should get ready to be disappointed because it's going to a long segue of Howard trying to find gainful employment. In a demographic decimating choice, this lands him in a creepy, seedy, hot tub sex club? He lasts about 5 minutes before booting his boss into the lava of love, which I don't even want to think about. Back on the street, he gravitates to the club Beverly is performing at and violently accosts her scheming manager, a fight which he only wins by appealing to humanity's innate fear of, you guessed it, space rabies. Either way, it's enough to right all past wrongs between Howard and Beverly, and he's back at her apartment. Oh, that effectively ate up 50 minutes of pointless screen time. But hey, this was the 80s, had to fit that hot tub sex in somewhere. And just in case you wanted to believe that this was just a bizarre slip-up in an otherwise kid-oriented movie, go ahead and dial your what the shit meter all the way up to what the shit.
I've given up trying to assimilate. I've got to get back to my own kind. Although...
What the shit? Seriously, what the shit? Who are you for, Howard? Who are you meant to appeal to? Oh, and in case you goddamn well forgot that effect, that one, months of preparation. Was it worth it, you sick bastards? If you'd like to be further disturbed by this premise, try reading up on the evolutionary arms race that is duck genitalia. Go ahead, I'll wait. A surprise group of scientists somehow ups the awkwardness further, but they come with a theory on Howard's arrival. Their test of an experimental laser could have been what pulled him to Earth, and some polarity reversal hoo-ha might send him back. By the time they get to the lab, tragedy is struck and the laser has been destroyed, unfortunately not before bringing down another malevolent entity, which, it becomes increasingly clear, has taken up residence in Dr. Jennings, who concurrently helps them to escape the police interest in Howard and threatens gleeful global destruction. Or, in the parlance of the movie, a lot of shitty jokes.
The world is in great danger.
Yeah, it certainly is when you're out on the highway.
I'm afraid I'm about to become something else.
Oh, great. Like a sex change or something.
Something's growing inside me.
We'll stop at a bathroom.
The three of them wind up at a diner as Jennings, now an evil overlord of the universe, settles into the template for every dumb alien cliche in the book.
I no longer need human food.
A dynamic they apparently felt necessitated a 6-minute scene of painfully unfunny back and forths before anything happens.
Tonight, the laser beam hit the nexus of summoners.
What is that? A suburb of Cleveland?
Now that the stakes have risen to cosmic importance, of course it's a trio of lecherous rednecks who Howard has to dispatch with Jim Cotta-like detachment. Eventually they overwhelm him, and in the runner-up most disturbing scene, unironically prepare to feast on him. Jennings comes to the rescue with a full-on demonstration of his arcane power and poor comedic sensibilities.
If you can't take the heat, get out of that kitchen.
Finally, he turns his attention on Howard and Beverly and a near-death experience. Hey, you remember when he survived this? Jennings drags Beverly back to the laser with him. He plans to use it to call down his brethren, and actually, I haven't been disturbed in a little while. Can we, thank you. Howard and Phil commandeer, of all the fucking things, an ultralight aircraft to the effect of a massive, lengthy, and above all pricey chase scene. They make it to the lab just in time to use a neutron disintegrator on Jennings, but this just reveals his true form. As though the cost-benefit ratio of that protracted chase scene wasn't enough, the climax of the movie gives us a beautifully realized and brilliantly executed stop-motion monstrosity. Oh, what are you doing in this movie, you poor creature? You deserve better than this. But in another subtle Star Wars reference, you have the aim of a stormtrooper, so it's easy for Howard to maneuver the neutron disintegrator in position and take you out, followed by the laser itself. Howard seals his fate by destroying his way home, so to violently counteract what could have been a single admirable scene for his character, what else could they do but close on a live performance of Howard's theme song, complete with a fucking guitar solo. Cheering crowd, guitar playing duck, credits, fuck you. Repeat it with me a few times. Pixar, 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 Pixar. This is the most extreme example of if you want to make an omelet, you gotta break some eggs. Eggs. See, comparatively that's funny now, right? But maybe Howard can be worth something more as a cautionary tale. What can we learn from Howard the Duck? Well, it's mostly don'ts. Fairly obvious don'ts, like don't set up stakes of cosmic importance and then set 50 minutes of your last act in a diner, or don't feel the need to cram every single joke forcibly down our throats. I actually think some of the constant quips and riffing of the dialogue could have worked had it been delivered in an offhand blinking you'll miss it sort of way, but oh no. Taking their cues from the most overtly obnoxious sitcom school of acting, everything needs to be telegraphed into painful explicitness.
Talk about a rotten day.
You got someplace to go?
Hey, if I had someplace to go, I certainly wouldn't be in Cleveland.
I'm not Jennings anymore. The transformation is complete. I am now someone else.
Try telling that to your insurance company.
But unfortunately, the biggest don't is don't wear your heart in your sleeve. Fundamentally, Howard represents a tricky contradiction in adapting material to film. What's the common assumption in all of these scenes?
Yeah! Every duck's got his limit, and you scum have pushed me over the line. Just came by to tell you. I quit!
I just can't resist your intense animal magnetism.
We love Howard. Not we've been ingratiated to Howard through narrative. We already love him. Forget that he was a niche property, not Superman. Forget his grim visage with the stuff of fevered nightmares. Why should we love Howard? Because he's Howard the fucking Duck. Howard the moving on. That's the contradiction. To successfully adapt material, you gotta be in love with it and then treat it with total dispassion because there's no telling how your audience will come into it. It's how passion projects often go awry, but never, I think, at the staggering scale and level of dichotomy Howard gives us. Lucas and company obviously thought they had a hit, a character kids and adults would be instantly drawn to. Knowing Lucas, he was probably already dreaming of lunchboxes and t-shirts and, 1986, duck-themed Jenga blocks. Remember picturing the whole crew watching this unfold and just kind of letting it happen? At least they were getting paid. As an executive producer, Lucas illustrates how, frankly, love can fuck you out of $35 million. It's been a rough year for me emotionally. It's so easy to convince yourself that everyone will immediately see what you saw in the material or character, but beauty remains in the eye of this guy. So we come back to this. Lucas was crazy about Howard, and maybe he just couldn't imagine anyone feeling any differently about him. And, laugh at it if you like. It's a sitting duck, a feather-brained idea brought to life by this quack who was so convinced it'd be duck soup he wouldn't entertain anyone crying foul that, wait, no, sorry, come back, that was it, I'm done. But in fact, it's a sloppy but earnest love letter, and I'm not defending it, I'm just saying I understand it. Love is blind. And also clinically insane. Adaptation is a tightrope walk between bringing to life whatever attracted you to the material in the first place and accepting that you're going to have to work your ass off to sell it to some people. Yes, even if it's Howard the Duck.